Wherever there is a crowd, there is untruth. Knowledge is a wealth that cannot be stolen. When in a state of hunger, one ought not to undertake labor. Doctor's first commandment: do no harm. Declare the past, diagnose the present, foretell the future. Both sleep and insomnolence, when immoderate, are bad. Time always contains an opportunity. Very often the best medicine is to go without it. Burning yourself will always make you shine for others. It is impossible to exist without passion. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. It is necessary to treat not only the disease, but also to counteract the causes that cause it. Just as clothiers clean cloth, knocking it out of dust, so gymnastics cleanses the body. Do not tell your illness to anyone, otherwise you risk getting advice that can harm you. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. Leap of faith. Yes, but only after reflection. The doctor is a philosopher, for there is no great difference between wisdom and medicine. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. If you are in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you are still in a bad mood, go for another walk. It is not the path which is the difficulty. Rather, it is the difficulty which is the path. Disease always comes either from an excess or from a deficiency. That is, from an imbalance. People demand freedom of speech as a compensation for the freedom of thought, which they seldom use. Excessive food causes disease. All disease begins in the gut. Some believe that we feel with the heart, because it shrinks and freezes with sadness and worries. However, the heart is not capable of understanding and thinking. Only the brain can do this. And it is he who gives rise to our feelings. The door to happiness opens outward. When the brain is healthy and in a calm state, a person thinks sensibly. Any excitement and strong manifestation of feelings is dangerous. In everything, a slow transition from one to another is important. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. Confidence is the present tense of hope. It is better to try something and fail than to try nothing and succeed. The result may be the same, but you won't be. We always grow more through defeats than victories. The unhappy person is never present to themselves, because they always live in the past or the future. People understand me so poorly that they don't even understand my complaint about them not understanding me. Man always hopes for what he should remember, and forever remembers what he should hope for. Never put off treatment until later. Frequent and causeless fatigue portends an impending illness. It is so hard to believe because it is so hard to obey. For without risk there is no faith, and the greater the risk, the greater the faith. Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what illness do you have. The brain contains our mind, and madness, and insanity, and all our fears and horrors, including dreams, as well as all our abilities and negligence. To dare, to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. In despair, the sick person brings himself closer to death. Disease that come from overwork are cured by rest, and those that come from idleness are cured by work. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Most people seek pleasure in ways they will never find. Listen to these Soren Kierkegaard quotes and open your heart to the true joys of the soul today. The human soul develops until death. Work, good spirits, and the striving of the mind for perfection, for knowledge, lead to results that adorn life. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. Why bother remembering a past that cannot be made into a present? Marriage is a fever inside out. It starts hot and ends cold. The natural healing force within each of us is the greatest force in getting well. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. What if everything in the world were a misunderstanding? What if laughter were really tears? Idleness is the source of all vices. Where there is no idleness, there is no evil. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. Any excess is contrary to nature. Do it or don't do it. You will regret both. The self-assured believer is a greater sinner in the eyes of God than the troubled disbeliever. Neither satiety or hunger, and nothing else is good if one transgresses the measure of nature. The drunkenness of fathers and mothers is the cause of the weakness and sickness of children. The thing that cowardice fears most is decision. Hunger weakens and kills a person. Heavy food destroys the human body. Therefore, you need to look for the middle. Many of us pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that we hurry past it. There are, in fact, two things: to know and to believe one knows. To know is science. To believe one knows is ignorance. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. Take a chance, and you may lose. Take not a chance, and you have lost already. Avoid sex in old age, because at this age it is safer to use other sources of pleasure. Once you label me, you negate me. The doctor heals the disease, but nature heals. Thank you for watching.